Today in Conversations That Convert, we'll be talking about 3 questions with Builder Lead Converter. And our question of the day is, what kind of website layouts do buyers respond to?
Welcome to Conversations That Convert. Every week, we'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes tackling relevant lead generation, marketing, and sales topics for remodelers, home improvement companies, and home builders. Conversations That Convert is brought to you by Builder Lead Converter, your perfect sales assistant. And now, here's Rick and Diana.
Hey everyone, welcome to Conversations That Convert. Diana, how are you today?
Hi, very well. Thank you. Welcome everybody. And how about you? How is life?
Doing well. It is a summer, humid, rainy day today. And I know it's hot where you are too,
Yes.
and in Romania. So we're in the throes of it. So it's nice to be inside enjoying the coolness of an air conditioning and learning more about website layouts. So what do you think? Should we get started?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
So what's our topic we're talking about today, Diana?
Today about the website layouts and how can we prepare and arrange them so they can convert leads.
That's right. Yeah, it's all about what do custom home remodeling leads respond to, and this is part of our 3 questions with Builder Lead Converters is our series, which is really a fun part. We're spending a lot of times on a website because I see that as probably the most misunderstood thing that a lot of builders it's costing them leads and obviously money. And so we're going to take some time just to break this down. I spend 3 to 5 meetings a week with builders, and this is usually one of their most asked questions is, why isn't my website generating more high quality leads? So this session today we'll be focusing on, again, the layout of a website. Previously to this, we talked about again, the content you should have on the website, and then we talked about what leads are attracted to and unattracted to, and then we're also going to be talking about lead magnets, or creating a compelling reason for a lead to start a relationship with a builder. And then finally, we'll get into some search engine optimization, which is oftentimes misunderstood as well. So what do you say? Should we jump into our first question?
Yes, I'm curious about the first question, and I'm also curious about the answers. So what types of website layouts turn leads away?
Good question. We always got to start with what do leads not like versus what they do like. So in other words, stop doing what they don't like and start doing what they do like. Yeah, exactly. So it sounds simple, but it is a little bit more complex than that. I think the reason the disconnect here, Diana, we can use the analogy of you working with an architect to design a project, and then the builder is responsible for putting that project together. Oftentimes there is a disconnect in that the architect has ideas for this project, and they share those ideas with the lead, and the lead falls in love with them. The plan gets designed, and then it's given to the builder, and the builder looks at the plan and says, well, it's going to cost you this much, which is typically a lot more than the budget that the lead had identified. So there's a real disconnect there over, say, architectural design and actually what the costs associated with the architectural design. Websites are similar to that. A lot of website designers, they fall in love with a certain look or feel, and they're very focused on the overall say motif of the website design. But the question is, what is the goal of the website? My answer would be to provide a compelling reason for the lead to start a relationship with the builder. That's it. And anything more than that, you're losing your central focus. So I guess another way to ask this question is what are the reasons that a lead would not want to start a potential relationship with the builder? In other words, what's turning them away? So I always start with what I call the 19-second rule. In other words, once that lead lands on their homepage, you have 19 seconds to get them the information that they are looking for. So we have to understand right away, when that lead lands on that homepage with no scroll whatsoever, what is that information that they're looking for? And I will show you an example here before we're done with this program. So if you're listening to this on audio, you may want to jump on video. But the layouts that turn them away is, number one, simply they can't find what they're looking for. It's buried, or it's just missing altogether. And we talked about content last time, but you can have the content on your page, but if it's not in the right layout and it's hard for that lead to find it, if they're not going to find it in 19 seconds or more, you've lost them. So the next thing we have to look at is going to be your top 5 most visited pages. And those visited pages are going to talk to you. You're going to find those in Google Analytics. So Google Analytics will tell you what is the most visited pages on your site. So your home page is always going to be the most visited page. But then after that, you have to understand, well, what are the next 4? So we find, again, that the content they're looking for starts with design, then it goes to pricing, and then ultimately usually location or service area. So that is going to be the most visited pages, and you can make sure you can get to those in 1 click or less.
Right, let's hear the question number 2. How important is the user experience for leads?
Well, I would say that you can get too hung up on the user experience, but it's also probably top 3. And what I mean by that is the user experience is the interface. So when a lead is engaging with your website, what are they trying to do? So I always go back to my definition. Okay, they're trying to start a relationship with you, or more importantly, they're trying to cross you off their list. So in other words, the builder's goal is always to start a relationship with them. The lead is trying to exclude them, because we talked about how leads shop online is process of exclusion. So what the user experience will do for them is help them determine which path they're going to go. So either they're going to get closer to you and put you on their short list, or they're going to get farther away and they're going to move on to one of your competitors. So the user experience will do just that. All the things I've talked about up to this point are part of the user experience. But what we find most importantly as part of the user experience is they want an interactive experience. In other words, the history of websites is really talking about the starting with, say, a online brochure. So back in the day, every builder just wanted to have an online brochure. So we used to create these beautiful, full color brochures, heavy matte paper, hand them out. And then the first websites were just another version of that. So the evolution of websites has now come to where they're very interactive. It's a tool that the lead is going to use to help qualify who they want to actually have a conversation with and start a relationship with versus who they're not going to consider. So that interaction is really most important with the user experience. And that can be lots of different things. We'll show you an example here shortly.
All right, then let's go to question number 3. What are the key layout factors a builder should consider for their website? So where should I look in a website?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Diana. Let's take a closer look at this. I'm going to pop on the screen again right now. This is what we call a template website, one that we work with, and there's been a whole lot of work put into this. So we're looking at one for a custom builder. And the information that you see on the website is all based on lead behavior and along with tracking which are the most visited pages. So you'll see across the top here, starting with the left-hand side, we want to make sure our client partners' logos is displayed there. And even when they are scrolling down, we're going to make sure the logo stays front and center. Now here in the middle of the masthead, this is going to be our quick links. So we have determined in order that Available Homes is the most visited page outside of the home page for this particular client, or in other words, this particular service provider, and this is a home builder. So even if you're a custom home builder and you don't build spec homes or model homes, your Available Homes section is still going to be the most visited page. And the reason is because most leads would rather buy something that's up versus having to go through the process of building. Next is our design library, looking at floor plans. Then we have our locations, and then we have a photo gallery. So what you see right here is going to be the top 5 most visited pages. Now, the other thing that we want to make sure that we do is allow the lead to be able to contact us quickly. So you're going to see a click to call phone number here, right up in this corner. And then ultimately in the middle of the page, you're going to see contact us. So the contact us button, again, will do 2 things. Number one, if they want to fill out a form, great. But most of the time when people go to the contact us page, is they're either looking for your location or phone number. But it is going to be the most clicked on item above the fold. So in other words, we're not scrolling up this website on the homepage. Below this here, we're looking at again the it's really just a mirror image, but we're using thumbnails to get people to where they want to go. We've also got a quick question here, so somebody wants to start a live chat, which a lot of people do these days. They can do that without scrolling. So here's the thing that's most important. I'm able to do all these things, and plus I have a nice visual with the videos here, as well as some thumbnail images, where I'm able to showcase my product. Now, where it says your marketing message here, marketing message is comprised of 2 things. Number one is, what do you do? So are you a home builder, a remodeler, or both? And where do you do it? So I can simply say we design and build custom homes in the greater blank area, something like that. So as soon as that lead lands there, they know what services you provide, they know where you provide them, they can quickly get in contact with you, or they can dive deeper into their most important information, which is going to be getting design ideas, getting pricing information, and understanding your locations you offer and or service area. So that again is going to be above the fold. The next thing that we look at, if we scroll down a little bit, is we're going to introduce our lead magnets here. We're going to talk a little bit more about your company, but then we're going to have, this is a system called confidence builders. So these are going to be reviews and or testimonials that are going to be pulled from a trusted online platform. So in this case, Google. So Google My Business we're feeding these reviews here. And so as the builder, our builder partners are getting more and more 4- and 5-star reviews from Google Business Profile, we'll be able to showcase them here, and that builds confidence. We've moved on a little bit farther. We see a schedule a call button again for somebody who's busy, who wants to just book a time to have a call about their project. And at the very bottom, we're going to have what we call more confidence builders. So these are going to be professional associations that our client is involved with. So again, we want to get them the information they're looking for, give them a compelling reason to stay on the site. Then next week we'll talk about a compelling reason to start a relationship, which is the lead magnets. But the last thing you'll notice here, Diana, this is a very shallow. It's a very, very shallow format. And the reason is because once I start to scroll, like even when I get down to this page here, I probably lost about 12 to 15% of my audience. And by the time I get down here, I probably lost close to 50% of my audience. So we want to make sure, again, that we're not relying on the lead to scroll. They can get everything that they're looking for, what we call above the fold, and then that'll keep them on site. That'll increase the user experience. And then as we get into some of these most visited pages here, that's where we'll start some of that interaction that we're talking about. So that, again, answers the question is those are the key layout factors that builders should consider for their website. So one click to get to the most visited pages, have everything that they need above the fold so they don't have to scroll, and then reduce the depth of the website so you'll keep majority of your audience seeing everything you have on it, and then incorporate confidence builders to make sure that they look like they have found not only a good potential partner, but one that's been validated with reviews, testimonials, etc., etc. Any final thoughts, Diana?
I think that this is amazing. The large buttons and everything, it's clear, easy to understand and to clickable and see if there is a fit immediately. So 90 seconds rules. So yeah, I think that's an amazing progress.
Yeah, and it's and we always start also looking at desktop, because still for custom builders and design builder modelers, you're dealing with a little bit older demographic, not always, but oftentimes a little bit older demographic. So we still see a higher percentage of people using a desktop version. So we're going to design a desktop first, but mobile is very, very important. And so we will then, of course, look at the mobile layout and how that that site is going to adjust based on that smaller screen to make sure that we're not hurting ourselves for search, they call search placement or search rankings for mobile as well as desktop. So hopefully that was that was helpful here. And again, the website layout you saw, that's pretty much our latest updates that we've made based on our most current user data. So we're excited as we're rolling it out here with more and more clients. So hopefully that was fruitful here here today for you. And if you would like to have us take a look at your website or take a look at some different ideas that you can help attract, capture, and convert high quality leads for builders, so you too can pick and choose your jobs, go ahead and click on the link right below here. Tell me a good time to talk. We'll have a strategy call and see if we might be able to help you. So from our brothers and sisters in Christ, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all always. We'll see you next time on Conversations That Convert.